So good morning, guys. It's a very early morning. There's nobody here on the Essen Motor Show yet, and we have the exclusive possibility to look at the BMW M and M Performance booth here. Today's subject of matter will be the new BMW M2 with the performance parts. It's a live premiere here, more or less, world premiere, a car that has not been revealed in the full flesh yet. There are a lot of things to debate and talk about this car, and I will also show you some of the other cars later as well. But let's kick it off with the M2 and the performance parts. Let's kick it off with the rear, because that's probably the most controversial part. That looks really nice. Besides that wrap, we have this, in my eyes, very nice M Performance carbon fiber rear wing. Honestly, I just love the way how the car is wide at the bottom and more, let's say, narrow at the top. That enhances this wide body look, because the rear spoiler, the rear wing, just, let's say, more or less starts where the car is a bit more narrow at the top, and all the fenders to the side give that rear wheel drive biased look in the end. That is my personal taste, and I like it, honestly. I just talked to the guy of BMW and asked him if you need to take this roof spoiler, as they call it. He said no. I mean, once you are taking that one, you need to take the rear wing as well, but you're not limited or linked to this one. Of course, as we've talked about it, you can also debate about the wrap of this car. It's also more or less a traditional wrap. My personal taste is, let's say, you should have presented it in black or something like that. And I would also say, all the people that are debating about this car and saying, oh, it doesn't look good, wait a few years, or 1 year maybe even. See this one in matte black or in black on the road, with all the parts on it. And the one factor of this car, I can only tell you, will be a 10 out of 10. I'm so sure about it. And honestly, although we have just bought our RS3, this is a car specifically in those parts that I really like. And I was anticipating for a very long time, not only the M2, but as I see in the first pictures with the rear wing, I said, this is a car that I really want. Let's continue with the parts. Of course, you've already seen it. We have new wheels on it, and they are kind of new because if you pay attention very closely, those are the wheels that we've already had on the M4 competition with the M Performance parts. You remember the orange one that we drove? They were in matte gray on that car, and they did not have the center lock. I think this is something very interesting. First OEM to offer center lock in this class, and a very nice BMW sign, if you can see that. I think they look really good, because we have 20-inch in the back here, we have 19-inch in the front, and they really suit the character of the entire car. And the important part is the weight reduction, the unsprung mass weight reduction is really good. We have seen the M4 competition doing very good times, specifically with that lightweight wheel. I think it was 0.2 quicker to 100, in my opinion, almost only because of the unsprung mass and the less weight. I don't think that you need to take the side part if you are looking for the rear wing and the front spoiler, but nevertheless I think it's a good element. Also, of course, the side flap changes the look of the front in the end. Same design. I think once you're taking that one, you also have to take that one in order to have the aerodynamics working. So let's look at the front. The entire front has been updated. The M2 already has that rectangular design at the air intakes, and they have now put carbon fiber parts in it. Hopefully you can see that in here. This is extremely well made, and the parts are not design only. They work up to back there. I think that's an amazing part. And shows the level of detail that M Performance has. I mean, that's no cheap plastic tuning. That is real lightweight parts. Also the front lip, for my personal taste, they could have come across a bit further, but that's probably also due to regulations that you can't do that. It still looks good because it makes the car lower. Saying it again, think about this car in a dark color. It will lower the center of it's a gravity from a visual perspective quite nicely. 119,000 euros for the car with performance parts. But of course, you don't have to pick all the parts. I mean, in the end, nobody's probably speccing this car with all the parts. But me personally, I would probably say, okay, I don't know, go for the front lip, go for the rear wing. Yeah, maybe even leave the standard wheels and you're done. You already have a nice looking car. Or you're saying, I'm just going for the lightweight wheels, leave the rest alone. I think that's the interesting part. Let's now take a look inside what they have done to the interior here. First of all, we see very nice M2 bucket seats. Those are, I believe, the standard seats that you can already get from the configurator. If I'm not mistaken, hopefully I have to ask the people here, I'm not saying anything wrong. But the steering wheel, that is something that we have already seen in other cars, is a very nice addition. First of all, it's the Alcantara inlay with carbon fiber. This part actually you can already get for many other BMWs. It's not that expensive, it's easy to replace, and it adds a lot of character and quality to your interior. I think that's a very nice option that you can get, and I would recommend that for everybody who has this steering wheel. Secondly, of course, you can change this entire part. It's not only that you have Alcantara here and the center part, but it's also that you have a different shape of that steering wheel. It just feels more sporty. I would say steering wheel update is probably one of the worthiest updates you can get from the M Performance parts, because the prices are still okay. It's not cheap, but it's still okay. And you can change it at your BMW dealership, and you can enhance the quality of any BMW with that steering wheel quite nicely. If you have a 3 Series or 2 Series now, that's a cool part. Also, they are available for 1 Series. Cool option, honestly. We know that this is an option, M Performance inlay in matte carbon. You also have the Alcantara pads at the side here, which look very nice, also matte carbon. It's not only about the design, but of course the best part about this is that you don't scratch it that easily. I think this is a very cool option. So even after a few years, this black will look bad, but this one will remain. And of course, this center display. At first I thought you don't need this, but honestly, if I'm looking at our M340i with the old digital cluster, it looks old. This just looks so much better, and a few software enhancements and the iDrive 8 will be as good as the iDrive 7. We haven't talked about the exhaust yet. I'm not done yet. Stay awake, people. They have updated the exhaust, because in the M4 they had matte black, which was kind of unspecial, I would say, and they have changed it to this metal look now. And also you don't have any issues with the paint or whatever once the exhaust is getting hot, and the temperature will change the color of the exhaust over time. I think that's a very nice part, and I prefer that. Of course, also the carbon fiber rear diffuser is an option here. The sound is not a huge difference at standstill, but once you're driving, there's a different tone, a motorsport-like tone, that is really special. I had the M4 with the M Performance exhaust, and I said after that, although it's truly expensive, that exhaust, I want to have it, because the looks overall are more special, and the sound in the end is different, specifically once you're driving on the Autobahn. It's probably not an option for everybody, and you can of course just have the quad exhaust, the regular quad exhaust here, so don't complain about it, you don't have to take it. But without further talking, I think now we have it here with the M2 and the M Performance parts. Let's continue with an M3 Touring over there, and with some other cars as well. Of course, this is the M4 CSL that they have already updated quite a bit, I believe. In a nice wrap here. Of course, you can always see that M4 CSL by that ducktail, and I think the wrap suits the car very well. Of course, in that regard, the standard exhaust here, but you can already see that this is different with the M4 CSL than the regular M4. And of course, the price tag is quite hefty, and you expect a lot of special parts for that. I think the main important and best part inside always with the M4 CSL is the center console. I just love it, because it just gives so much more specialty to the car. Plus, of course, the bucket seats, the CSL bucket seats here, which are more lightweight. Yeah, you can say what you want, but this car is special. It will remain special forever. I don't know if the price tags which are currently being asked for are justified, but in the end, yeah, it's a very, very nice and cool car. Let's continue with the car that we, of course, are particularly interested in, because it's the facelifted M340i with M Performance parts, so it's more or less our car in the revised version. And the interesting part is, of course, not only the headlights, they look better than ours, they have also revised those parts. I mean, the front lip is not the same anymore. We had this in black plastic at our car, and it was not splitted. This just looks more sophisticated. I just realized that this is not an M340i, but a 330i whatever, with mild hybrid or even hybrid system, because there's a connection anyhow, but the design can be, of course, put on every 3 Series. I'm not a huge fan of those gray wheels always. Probably will go for the standard ones, but nevertheless, I think it looks great. We know that part that must be 1-to-1 what we have in on our M340i. You also get a new rear diffuser, and I kind of like this sharp looking part at the rear of the facelift, which of course now is being enhanced by this carbon fiber center part of the M Performance parts. That's quite nice. So next car overall, because that's probably one you're all interested in, is the M3 Touring. Has all the parts here. First of all, that baby blue, I call it baby blue now, I'm sorry, with the golden rims, just looks very, very nice. I just love those rims. 21 inch. I think that's a very nice option. Also, M3 Touring. Think about this car, for example, in matte black, as we've seen it, with the M Performance exhaust or not. It's a very nice option. They are smart. They put the black wheels on it. Oh my goodness. Maybe I even prefer that. Maybe I prefer the black ones. The next car they have over here, very special color. Where do I find it? Purple silk, individual purple silk metallic. Not too bad, honestly. Yeah, those guys at BMW M Performance, they know how to spec their cars. It does not come across on camera as it is in real life. I have to tell you, in real life it is quite stunning. On the camera, I would probably not pick it. But nevertheless, also that combination, very classy with the bronze wheels. Yeah, and this rear wing that we all know. Yeah, it's more or less the car that we had in orange, but nevertheless, still is a good option. Looks very nice. Over here we have some more affordable options. We have 1 Series with the M Performance parts. It must be urban green in that regard. And of course the lightweight parts that we have already shown on the 128 Ti, if you remember. Very nice forged carbon, a rear wing, and it must be also with the forged carbon. Yeah, you have it here, forged carbon rear diffuser. That really adds up to the character of the car. I mean, look at this, and the M Performance end tips. It's not a different exhaust, but those are just M tips. But look at this rear view. I think it's very nice. Yeah, the fair is now about to be open. The staff is currently being prepared. You guys who are watching have the possibility for the next few days to look at those cars. We will wrap it up. I will give you a few more impressions of the rest of the fair. But I think, thank you again, BMW M. That was very, very nice for this invitation. We don't need to debate about the products. They're great anyhow. Next hall here is where more interesting stuff is going on. Can't show you everything, but the fair will likely not be as empty as I show it to you right here. But in a few seconds there will be lots of people coming. Yeah, very interesting booth concepts here, and of course some very nice cars. Let's take a closer look here. We have a very interesting booth, Grail, because it's also about RS3 parts, of course, this fair, because we're looking for an exhaust system for our RS3. Maybe the bipolar series by Grail can be an option, honestly. Very interesting. If you want to make your ID bus look nice, the different rear wheels and a lower suspension. I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, the car already looks awesome as a regular one, but updated like this, this is a true microbus. Oh my goodness, the styling is just great. Now we are at the booth of our friends of HG Motorsport. You probably remember that our Focus RS back then had the HG Motorsport Ego X exhaust and also the Audi S1 that we had. With the downpipe and the exhaust, we were always a huge fan of that. That's very nice. Next to that, it's actually a VWR project or VW project of a Golf 8R, also looking very nice. But this car we will actually have for an Autobahn test, hopefully very soon. They're doing 450 horsepower, something like that, maybe even more. And they're claiming times of 100 to 200 of mid 7 seconds. And I guess we want to try that out. Not sure if I'm a fan. I'm a personal fan of the air suspension or lowered suspension in that case, but nevertheless, I think the car looks good and the power output is quite astonishing that they have. And the most important part is they're saying it's a reliable power output with more or less the stock engine. That's great. How cool is this? It's the recent Bentley Flying Spur with, what is the company called? Rotatech wheels? Honestly, I haven't heard of them before, but now they're very present for me. This looks simply amazing. I mean, the car overall already looks simply amazing. It is huge, but in this look, yeah, a dream. And do you remember those cars? Race Chip, the M3 we had. Check out the video as we did 100 to 200 acceleration runs, and also the i20N in this shape. A very, very nice car with a good power upgrade and also already a very, very good sounding stock exhaust. And yeah, still a fan of that wrap, honestly. It fits very well to the character of the i20N. Yeah, this car also was a beast on the Autobahn. Cool stuff that I see those cars again here at the booth. Next, Audi RS3, the BTM Turbo here with wheel force wheels, which also look very nice. And I think they also have an exhaust system underneath. Maybe also an option to check out. And with that gorgeous view, I will leave you alone. I think it's worthy stepping by here and yeah, enjoying a true car enthusiast show.